Howdy, folks. I'm Rebecca Jolly, the Jolly Alchemist, here for a neutrino forecast for what I think is a very auspicious day, Friday, the 26th of September, 2025. So we are looking at the last version of the left angle cross of healing today. So we're looking at gate 46, love of the body, and serendipity, and also 25, innocence. So 46 line 6 is integrity, to reject restrictions. Now there's a whole lot more to it than that, and that really doesn't give the depth of it. So I have a small presentation to make on it, since especially I carry this energy. Now we must remember, everyone has everything, just not all the time. However, there are some of us who are carrying little bits of things continuously and can share it with others, and this is one of those things that I carry. So let me explain a little bit of myself to you. All right, so this is the line that Ra says carries real wisdom in the graph in the body, because it's carrying the wisdom of experience, of being in the right time, in the right place, doing the right things, and with the right people. And that's very key, because if the 46.6 is not with the right people, they can't have the right experiences. As I was saying yesterday with the whole thing about shopping in the bins and magic or no magic, that's how it works. So it's about being in the experience and then being able to do collective sharing, because really this is a collective process that's happening over here on this side of the circuitry. The sixth line is always looking over the roof and over the fence into the next gate. So it's important to know what's coming next, what that person is thinking of, because they're not actually thinking of being in the right place at the right time or about love of the body. They're thinking about the next thing, and in this case, that is 18. Focus on the broken. And that's why I always thought I was meant to be focusing on the broken, because I wasn't understanding. You're actually in 46.6, not in 18.1. Note to self. But it's about asking what is worth correcting, what's worth making a change for society in, and that change for this person needs to be in the direction of aesthetics, beauty. Why beauty? Because there's an intimate connection between beauty and truth. The thing that is more beautiful is the thing that is more truthful. The thing that has less entropy is the thing that's more beautiful and more truthful. And that really gets down to a crux of what it is to be on this planet. Namely, it's to reduce our entropy. Now, you can say that in lots of ways, but the most easy and common way to say that is to say that we're working towards becoming love. So there's something very important about this 46.6, being able to teach people through experience how to be love in the world. That's my job. How cool is that? Very nice. So these people, the 46.6s, are sitting on the roof, looking around, looking to see what people they can align with to make success possible. And their personal success is really dependent on those people around them. They are not an obvious success. And I definitely can agree about that in my own life. People who look at me would not see an obvious success, but it's somebody who, with dedication to their passion, can over time and alignment with the right people, prove to be a success. And that, I think, is what I'm banking on. So we move on in the earth to 25.6. Interestingly enough, my partner carries that energy. How weird is that, huh? So we're looking at the nature of true innocence, which Ra calls ignorance. Very nice. And 64 Keys calls naivety, because, of course, they're always trying to make it more relatable to people who might not be into the woo-woo thing. If you're in a business setting and you call someone ignorant, they're not really going to get that. And we get why Ross said that. He's trying to be shocking. He's trying to get people to look more deeply. And so let's look a little more deeply. So again, we're talking about that sixth line. We're at the end of the hexagram, which is not really part of the hexagram. It's looking towards the next hexagram, which in this case would be 17. So the nature of opinions and what's going on there. What am I looking for? What can I do that can be without motives? How can I be innocence? How can I be the true nature of something that's trying to have a wise opinion and not just like down in the woods, but above it all, right? So Ra calls this the fool that sits on the hill, and in this day and age, they're alone. They're usually watching TV. And I thought, that is often what my partner is doing, sitting alone watching TV. Very interesting. So there it is. They're looking for the action that's perfectly motiveless. They need to see the value in humanity before they're going to come down off the roof and engage. But here's the thing. We are moving into a sixth line time out of a first line time. So the first line time is characterized by fear and by intelligence and trying to figure out what the things are at the base of things. That's how human design was received in this first line theme of how can we understand what's truly going on? And also, how can we achieve some kind of healing? By the way, this is the healing tide. If you want to look at it a little closely, it's because it has little palm trees and elephants and a nice environment for gentle, soft healing. Yes? So, they have to see the value of humanity before they do that, and their secret is withdrawal, because in their withdrawal from humanity they can maintain that innocence that's theirs. However, moving into the sixth line theme as we are going to see our sixth line beings coming down off the roof and engaging with the world. So that will be interesting. We're going to see a lot of people coming down off the roof and being role models, just being in their true innocence, who they really are, looking to make things better, asking the big questions. So we're moving into this time of just being and or looking around and asking the big questions, maintaining some level of innocence, because I think there is something about six lines that, even if they're not about the individual gate of innocence, there is something innocent about that, sitting on top and just looking around. So, the people. I didn't talk about the people yesterday. I promised you that today. Let's look at that real quick. Christopher Reeve. He is one of our Cross of Healing people. And again, these are healing not through medicine. That's the first version. This one is healing through bringing love into the world, by being themselves, by doing their passion, and that rightness, insisting on your passion, being in the right place at the right time, brings them both luck, success, and healing. So, all right, we have F. Scott Fitzgerald, the poet. Will Smith, definitely willing to make innocent mistakes for his love, yes. Sabrina Fox, George Gershwin. Boy, there's somebody who was trying to bring love into the world. Glenn Gould, Maurice Gucci, interesting. Michael Douglas, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Martin Heidegger, Heather Locklear, Olivia Newton-John, and Ivan Pavlov. So, yeah, I don't think I said those guys yesterday. Right. I'm all confused because I recorded yesterday twice. So I'm all like, what did I say? What did I not say? What needs to be said? Blah, blah, blah. But anyway, moving on. So our moon energy today, just a sec. Are we ready for that? Yes, we are. Okay. is starting off in 43, line 5. So 43 is that gate of inspiration coming in from the outside. And line 5 is relatedness, the gift of sharing one's insights with others. This does happen to have an up arrow on it. The gift of knowing when and to what extent individual insights can be shared with each other. How nice. I don't carry that. I carry the third line. That's much more experimental. Can this insight be shared with others? Let's try it. Let's see if I'm ostracized. Oftentimes, yeah, those insights are not welcome. What are you going to do? The third line has to be made a little bit of tough to handle that kind of rejection. So the fifth line doesn't need that quite so much. After the 48, the moon will be moving into 14. This is called in the I Ching possession in great measure. It's basically the money bags. And then the second gate on the other side of that channel is, oh, where does the money go? So anybody who has this channel, I know somebody who does, is going to be concerned about figuring out where those money bags go. And of course, we all have everything, just not all the time. So today is going to be a day for thinking about that possession in great measure, that bulk, good stuff. Where's it going to go? And then 34, we're going to be moving into, come on now. Oh, there it is right there. Out of the sacral center, power, strength. Rawr. I don't really know exactly what that's about, even though I have it twice, because for me it's veiled. Power, strength, force, energy, really ongoing, it's sacral energy, which can go directly into this integration circuit for the upgrading and survival of humans. So that's what that's for. And we should all be feeling a bit of that later on in the day. Our Mercury energy begins in 48, line 5. That's action, a preference for action. So 48 is depth. So it's this depth that now that it's in the fifth line, we're looking at what we really want to see in the hexagram. We want to see somebody who's using their depth to do things with it. And that is what's happening. It will also move into the sixth line of that gate, and that is fulfillment. The inexhaustible source that receives and gives at the same time. That's what my partner carries in his depth. And so it's a depth that's like kind of above it, looking above it, but they're naturally embodying that depth. All right, our Venus energy started off in 40.3, but of course we looked at that yesterday. That was avoidance, careful consideration to avoid negative forces. The 40th gate is, of course, this bacon bringer, coming out of the willpower and ego center and really wanting to bring resources into the community, but only if you treat it nice. It's moving into line 4, organization, to organize for the purpose of liberation. So let's organize, get things together so I can do the minimum amount of work to relax and rest. Alrighty, our Mars energy, I said yesterday, was going to be moving into 28, line 1, and that is preparation. And of course, that's risks. So we're looking at preparation for taking the risks, and it has an up arrow on it today. So that is the intuitive ability to recognize risks allows for preparation with a focus on the details. So what a nice activation that is in order for us to be ready to take the risks and then do the struggling and the challenge to meet and find out which risks are worth taking. We'll also be moving into 28.2, alliances, the acceptance of questionable alliances. So it's about those alliances and whether or not the ends justify the means and all that sort of thing. It's definitely a question to ask in this time. And that's the end of our people energies, i.e. energies that are more likely to come to us through the people we meet than directly through our experiences of the transits. Now, I talked about the global shifts yesterday, and they are stable today, so I'm not going to go into global energies. But since I did do the global energies yesterday, I want to just remind us of what our nodes are, our nodal energies. And in my analogy of us Not driving our own car, but being the passengers in our car, the nodes would be like the tinting on the glass, the lens through which we are looking at the world at this time. So, what is that lens? Just a reminder, it's been in and out of retrograde for months, a long, 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 long time, and since like beginning of June or so, a long time. So we don't talk about it every day. We can kind of forget what's going on there. Let's remember real quick. 22 is the belief that style could mask the mood. So 22 is our gate of moods right here. No, it's on the emotional side. Sorry, sometimes I'm backwards on that because I'm doing it behind my head. 22, this moods here. This is the second line, so it's something that's natural. They're not understanding it. They're not actually bringing a lot of change with that energy, but they're looking at how it is. And in this case, it's a matter of you have style, attracting people's attention in order to create a social opportunity. A social opportunity for what, you might ask? 47. 47 is a great social opportunity to have. That's the social opportunity to look at oppression, mental oppression, physical oppression, and to try to get out from under it. So now is why we're seeing all these people in the world looking at our institutions and saying, look at them, look how broken they are, look how sexist they are, look how they've taken advantage of the poor, of children, of little girls sold into the sex slave, of people being enslaved in one way or another. We're starting to look more about the nature of wage slavery and how that's got us all on kind of a leash, yeah? So that's what's going on in the nodes. We're looking to release our mental oppression and other kinds of oppression by getting attention from what are we in the mood to look at? And that is to look at our social situations. It really is. I definitely see that in the world. So our song for today is Tus Pies, Your Feet, by Nahko, Nahko, and Medicine for the People. These people are making a lovely music and had a bit of magic today. This song was sitting on my queue already half begun when I came to my music to be like, okay, what might be the song for today? Boom, it immediately started playing halfway through, and I was like, whatever this is, it definitely feels right. So I went back and looked at it, studied it, and I was like, that is the perfect song for today. So, lovely, lovely, love it when the time and the place come together in a sort of natural serendipity. There it is. So, when we start to do what we're meant to be doing, we have access to these serendipitous kinds of things happening around us, just like this song landing in my lap perfectly for today. And also, I got the perfect song for tomorrow. Even though I didn't know exactly what was going on tomorrow, I checked it and I was like, shit, that's a good song for tomorrow too. So come back tomorrow and we'll see what's there next for us as the wheel shifts again and we move back into a right angle. Ciao.